Hey guys, I'm Mo back again. Welcome to the 8 in life on the Galaxy S23. Today I was asked to turn off my 5G and also always on display, so decided to give that a shot. 5G I'm fine with because the speed is basically the same where I live. I did a speed test, got right under 200 megabytes per second. I think on 5G I was getting, low 200s before, so it's not that much of a difference there. And for the most part, on a day-to-day basis, when I'm at home, I'm always connected to Wi-Fi, so it's not like I'm traveling around using 5G a lot of the time. I don't think it's going to have too much impact on battery life. Always on display, I will notice it if I do turn it off because I do enjoy that feature a lot. I don't really wear watches, so I'm constantly glancing at my phone to get a sense of what time it is, see if there's any new notification coming in. But we'll see how that impacts battery life by the end of the day. So Saturday morning, quite busy day. I woke up at 5:40 a.m. Here's the request for me to turn off 5G and always on display in Spanish. So I'm the man of the people, and here we are. Start my day off with some morning coffee. Today I got leftover smoothie that I accidentally spilled, so drank the rest of that. Then wait for 3 hours. Phone is at 83%. Currently 5G and always on display is off. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. Spend most of the morning editing my YouTube video. Was playing the township game on my phone for like 15 to 20 minutes. That's pretty much been the extent of the usage. Had the Calm app running for like 20 minutes as well as I was preparing for my morning. And then I sat on my chair and my phone fell off again. I think this is a cursed chair or something. Luckily there's a mat down there, so every time it falls, there's only like a very small area where it can hit either part of the wall, the little piece of the floor, or the mat. But this is the second time the Galaxy S23 fell out of my pocket when I sat on this chair. The chair is kind of at an angle, just gotta be more cautious next time I sit down. For breakfast, got some avocado toast with some salad. My fiance thought it was funny to give me both ends of the bread. And then felt ambitious to finally put up this bathroom rod that I bought 6 months ago. This took an hour of my life. Had to prepare all the tools, the mounting material. Here it is, final finished product. Something so simple yet so time consuming, and these days can cost a lot of money. It's like 50 bucks or whatever for that rod. And in addition to that, I gotta waste like another hour to figure out how to mount it on. It's not as simple as just drilling a hole into the wall. You have to make sure that it's balanced. And then you gotta pre-drill these plastic, then you put the screw on top of that. Multi-step process. And my biggest fear is just drilling a random hole into the house and messing up, then I gotta make another hole. Luckily, didn't need to worry about all that. Everything came out great. At 11:43, my phone is at 60%. Went to grab some coffee in the morning at Sweet Piglet. I love these bird nest chair things when you first come in. Director's view. Mid-afternoon break, going for some coffee and dessert, swinging on this little thingy, waiting for my coffee. Here's me sitting and swinging along. Read a random article about the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition. I do hope that they release that out. I have always been a big fan of the Fan Edition. Samsung first did it with the Galaxy S20 FE, and I think it was a huge hit. Ironically, the reason why it was so successful is because the regular Galaxy S20, the phone I'm using to record right now, originally released at $1,000 and no one wanted to buy it. So they released the Fan Edition 6 months later or so during COVID, which is a much more reasonable price. You actually get a larger display than the regular S20. Pretty good discount with the majority of the features that you hope to get on a flagship phone. Last year, due to supply chain shortages, Samsung skipped out on the Galaxy S22 FE. Looks like we might see a return this year, but these are always rumors. Yet at the same time, I do enjoy reading them. Sometimes they're true, sometimes they're not. But at least last year, I did get the sense that they weren't going to release the Fan Edition for the S22. Because I'm not sure you guys recall, at the beginning of January 2022, they actually released the Galaxy S21 Fan Edition. They couldn't get it out in time in 2021. So that pretty much threw a wrench into all of the Galaxy S22 FE plan. And to top it off, they released the Galaxy S22 like a month or so later. So that pretty much cannibalize some of the sales. But nonetheless, I do hope that Samsung do release a Fan Edition at some point later this year. Then I can get a bigger Galaxy at a lower price without having to go to the A series, because the A series is absolutely terrible. And hopefully it'll come in time to compete with the Google Pixel 7a. So lots of things to look forward to. Here's a picture of my coffee, a shot with the logo, me hanging out with the mascot near the door. And one of my biggest pet peeve when parking is someone parking directly next to me, especially if it's a whole parking lot that is empty. I always try to leave every other space. And for once, people did follow the bathroom stall rule. And of course, it's this unwritten rule applied to the bathroom as well. If there are a million stalls open and there's a dude right there, you would skip one and use the next one, not use the one directly next to him. That is just morally wrong. And then apply the same rule to parking spaces. Then I made my way over to grab some pho for lunch. Picture of my baby mama's shirt, the actual photo of the pho. And one feature that is missing from this phone that is present in the iPhone and also the Pixel is the ability to double tap on the phone to activate a feature, like turn on a flashlight or do something cool. I tried to search double but couldn't find it, so I assume it's not in here. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let me know if anyone else can find it. I don't want to do too much digging. Usually when I'm looking for something, I just search for it using the most intuitive term, and I don't see anything in here for double tapping in the back, so I assume that's not a thing. But even when on the Pixel series, it was barely working half the time anyways, and I heard Apple don't always work all the time either. But I do like the idea of it whenever I do remember to use it. If it's dark, I can just double tap my phone to launch a flashlight versus hitting the power button, drag down the notification menu, find the flashlight icon and tap that. Just a lot of steps. And one thing I do gotta remember to use more is the snooze function in the Gmail. Sometimes I read a mail and then I just hit unread so I can remember to address it later, but then you keep doing that so many times, all of a sudden you have 200-300 unread emails. Remember back then Google made a separate email client called Inbox, and they have all these features built in that, and then now they just integrate it all into Gmail. Just pick a date and time when you want to be reminded again, and then it'll come in as a new email. 147, my phone is at 47%. And another reminder app that I've been toying around with is TickTick. So far it's been working for me. If there are certain actions that I need to be done, I just pick a date and time and it'll send me a notification. I can in theory do this in my calendar, but when I do it on my calendar, sometimes I just swipe the notification away, or if I open it and then I just might forget about it. So I like to have a dedicated app to constantly remind me of things I need to do. In the Google Calendar, they do have a to-do function or a reminder function. I just don't feel like it's that intuitive and it somehow gets lost. I don't even know how to access it from my phone. On the computer, I do see a section for it. So I've been experimenting with this TickTick app and it works pretty well for me. I like to keep my calendar for events, and then to do, I like to have a separate app for it. Still experimenting with it, but I think it's been working well for me in terms of productivity. Then I went for an afternoon stroll. Thought I wasn't gonna use the camera a lot, but it was a beautiful day. Not too cold, felt ambitious, so did some more video shooting as I'm walking around. 2:04, phone is at 42%. Finished putting up my bathroom rod. Went for coffee, lunch, drop off dry cleaning. Now back at home, going for a walk. Battery looking pretty solid. Been up since 5:30. Feels a little sad with my always on display off. Don't know who's messaging me, don't know what notifications are outstanding. Feel a little cut off in the world. But at the same time, it does give you more space, I guess, if you're trying to cut down on your screen on time. Don't need to stare at your phone all the time, waiting for a notification. When you need to use it, then just double tap or pick up your phone to activate. Kind of similar to the Galaxy Z Flip 4. When you're done using the phone, just close it up, put it away, and see limited notification. Here's kind of the same idea, I guess. You don't get the benefit of the phone physically folding in half and taking up less space, but you get one of the best main features of the Galaxy Z Flip 4, where once you close it, put it away, you've made that commitment to finish using the phone, and that's that. And when you want to use it again, just open it up. And I guess this is what you accomplish by turning off always on display. Maybe I'll leave it off to reduce a lot of phone usage, but we shall see. One thing I did notice, I've always assumed that these camera software features have been the same since the beginning of time, but in my Galaxy S20 and the Hyperlapse mode, you only have one view, but in the Galaxy S23, you can do the wide angle, the regular angle, or the zoomed in 3x. It's just something I wanted to point out. Then I got in a car, went to go grab some dinner for later as we're preparing to have a party. And my wireless charger is actually super annoying and loud, so sometimes I unplug it and just use it as a regular phone mount. So current time is 3:32, phone is at 28%. And when I'm driving throughout the day, I do have it on a wireless charger occasionally. This time I just completely removed it. Then I got to my destination, read another article on my phone about shutter lag issue on the Galaxy S23. We'll see if I notice it when I get my phone. But I feel like usually when there are new releases, there are always weird things happening. So just gotta wait till the software updates before everything is fixed. I made my way over to my family's house for a party. And that is when my phone reached 5%, which is usually the cutoff mark where I usually measure my battery tests. I don't like to wait for it to hit 0%, then I gotta find a charger, boot it back up again, then all the screen and everything gets black and super annoying or hard to use. So I usually cut it off here. And for today, with always on display off and 5G off, even though it was a busy day driving around, occasionally sitting on a wireless charger here and there while navigating. I got about 12 hours and 7 minutes of overall battery life, which is actually the best battery life I've gotten so far. I typically average around 11, but I guess if you turn off always on display and 5G, you can get an extra hour total battery life. Screen on time didn't really change much. It's always gonna hover from 3.5 to 4 hours based on my experience over the first week. And I think when I was messing around with Samsung DeX the other day, I somehow turned off dark mode. So I will change that back to dark mode because I know that's gonna save some battery as well. Alright, there you have it. This wraps up day 8 in the life of the Galaxy S23. For tomorrow, I'll probably keep 5G off. I don't think it makes that much of a difference for me. And for always on display, I will tick the option where it would only turn on if I get a new notification. That way I will still see when something's coming in, not have to stare at it all the time. But we'll see. Maybe I'll eventually just turn it back on. That extra hour doesn't make that much of a difference for me. But still a solid day nonetheless. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to cover. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and see you in the next video.